Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Interaction podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up joebiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Interaction podcast.
One, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Hey, we got two of y'all. What the fuck are you doing, Ty? What is going on?
I was like, Chrissy's finally ready.
What? Where'd you go? What is she doing?
I had muted her.
No, now I am. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, no, Chrissy was.
She's got to go get her son.
Oh.
Chrissy was. He had just texting right now that he was done.
Oh, okay. Got you. All right. Yeah, Ty's got to go do some mom and shit, so she's going to be on her phone for the rest of the podcast. I don't even remember where I was explaining some long, drawn-out, complicated shit.
Well, you're saying that it's going to be that they're going to go last. They're going to let Jack do his.
I don't know about let, but I
got to get my son. Okay.
I don't know about let so much as things are structured in such a way that Smith's indictment in DC is likely to go first. And I think that was by design. I mean, if Willis wanted to make sure this went as quickly as possible, she would have indicted as few people as possible to just avoid some legal hurdles. With like the scheduling.
I'm just kind of delighting in the idea. I'm sure it's far-fetched of Trump being held without bail in Georgia and just getting to leave to go to and from his trial in DC or Miami, wherever.
January 6th thing.
Yeah.
So if she were to convict and lock Trump up, it would be very anticlimactic. Though we would be happy. I still want to see Jack Smith get his ass because Jack Smith is a pit bull and he has worked his ass off in like record time. I mean, he was just appointed, 6 months ago?
No, we're rolling up on, what is this, 8 months? Something like that.
I don't know, it felt like 6, but the time goes so slow and so fast.
Part of the thing Trump announced immediately after the November elections, and then Jack Smith was appointed like soon thereafter. It was almost as if Merrick Garland had expected Trump to do some crazy shit like that so he could announce that this was an election interference and it was a political prosecution of Biden by his 2024 opponent. So it's like he had like a special counsel in the bag ready to go for the second that happened. But no, it's funny you say Jack Smith went about this in record time, but actually, at the time around January, there were reports that Jack Smith was hauling in witnesses who had already testified to the grand jury or already testified to his investigators. He was hauling them back in and going over their testimony and spent like a couple of months reiterating things that had already been discovered by investigators. And if you think about it in a way, like that was time that could have been spent following leads and going down rabbit holes. But instead, what he did was to review all the evidence that he had already received to make sure the case was airtight. And I mean, I'm not saying there's no value in that, but I'm just saying that if the idea was to go full speed ahead as fast as possible, that actually isn't what he did.
Now, mind you, he is working 2 cases.
No, I got you. No, I was just saying that, like, the first thing he did was bring back people who had already given their testimony before he had been appointed and kind of reiterate some things. And that was
I get that because he wanted it officially on the record. And then why do double duty? Like, if you've already got this and then go from there, then you take what you've been given and then you start going from there. And you realize, like, okay, what's the best avenue to proceed with? Who do we think are the most solid people to go after? Who do we think that we can, have a more solid case against? Like, I get that. I get him, going over that. But, when I say that he did that in record time, I'm talking about the fucking 2 damn years that nothing was done, pretty much.
Well, that's the thing.
like
It's not that nothing was done. It's that no charges have been brought yet. But like that 2 years, the reason why he was able to get this done in record time is because Garland actually did a bunch of work collecting all this fucking evidence in both the documents case and the January 6th case.
Your man just doesn't prosecute and tell.
Yeah, I'm almost certain that if Trump had announced early, Garland probably would have brought a similar level of indictment probably 2-3 months earlier. I mean, you say that people have this thing with Garland be like, oh, he was afraid to prosecute Trump. Well, if he didn't want Trump prosecuted, he would just appointed a special counsel that wouldn't prosecute Trump. But that's not what he did. And like, if he was afraid of going after Trump, he wouldn't have fought the FBI and made sure they went down there to Mar-a-Lago to get those fucking documents back. I mean, people forget about, like, you think filing an indictment against a former president is a big deal? No, raiding his fucking home is an even bigger deal. It's even crazy. Like, indictments get filed against political figures all the time. You know what doesn't happen?
They're always criming.
Well, yeah, but you know what doesn't happen? Searches and seizures. Those don't happen too often with political figures. So it's not like he wasn't doing anything. It's just we didn't know what was happening behind the scenes because there wasn't any publicly available. I mean, there was actually again, we don't have time to do this. Let's move on to some other shit because there's a lot. There's a lot going on. All right, Carol.
We're gonna get to see all these 18 co-conspirators, and Trump have to be booked at Fulton County Jail and are supposed to turn themselves in within, I think it was 10 days, or they will be arrested.
Yep, before the 25th of August. It's going to
be fun. I mean, I know they probably will make bail or whatever, but it'll still be nice. And there's, I from what I've just read, there's no like back way in. I think we're gonna get a perp walk.
Yep,
get that perp walk.
Perp walk and a mug shot, Carol. We're going to get the fucking mug shot that we've been waiting.
The sheriff promised us a mug shot and his height and weight.
Yeah, he can't lie about that shit. He's 6 foot tall, 367 pounds. Oh, you know what?
Guys, I'm already at Chris's school.
Well, congratulations. I'm glad you made it.
How close we are.
Glad your new commute
but
is
I'm
good.
like,
That didn't take you long.
I realized that it's so good that I actually moved this close, that I moved back to El Paso. Yeah. So I'm kind of happy about that.
One of the pros, at least. I mean, there are some cons to living in Texas that we don't have to get into right now. Yeah, Carol, we're going to get that fucking perp walk. Another thing, as far as, well, we've talked about the indicted co-conspirators. We also have what appears to be up to 30 unindicted co-conspirators.
And unlike last time, I'm pretty sure one of them is Tom Fitton.
Yes, you took the words out of my mouth, Carol. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that too. I've been trying to go through and think, like, who else was that close? Because they got the usual suspects, the mains. We know Giuliani was involved. Lindsey.
Yeah. So as far as Lindsey Graham is concerned, we know that he came in and testified to finding Willis's grand jury. Because there was a long legal battle about whether the speech and debate clause would prevent him from having to come in and testify. He lost that battle, of course, and had to come in. But I don't believe he is one of the, at least mentioned here, one of the unindicted co-conspirators in the indictment itself. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you why. And likely, I'm gonna tell you why. Just bear with me for 1 second. Again, so Willis bought RICO charges, right? And as I was explaining earlier, one of the prefaces for being able to establish RICO is like the pick two. You pick any two crimes that you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt, and boom, you got your RICO. Well, it's likely that she might not be able to prove that Lindsey Graham was involved in such a fashion where he committed more than one crime beyond a reasonable doubt. So she didn't include him in the RICO indictment, right? And then, of course, we don't know what he said behind closed doors that may have been valuable enough for her to use in establishing this indictment, but not quite implicating enough for her to file charges against him, right? So we just don't know. But that's just like one theory. Another theory is he could be cooperating with Jack Smith's team, and like, again, he's told him everything he knows, and he's told Finally Willis what she wants to hear, as far as what she needs to know, and he may be off the hook as far as charges are concerned. Or, I mean, the third possibility is Jack Smith's going to eventually round even more people up. Because, again, he started at the top and he's going to work his way down. And I'm absolutely sure they're looking at Lindsey Graham, but I don't think he's one of the co-conspirators. But you did mention Tom Fitton, of course. And he is unindicted co-conspirator number 1. Ta-da! So congratulations, kids. Give yourself a fucking pat on the back. You nailed that one. Also have some other prominent, noteworthy, unindicted co-conspirators here. Number 2 is one of the Georgia fake electors. I couldn't give you a name, but this might be one of the individuals who decided to take that immunity deal that Finding Willis's team was offering, that the lawyer just failed to mention to her clients that was on the table.
Yeah.
Right. Unindicted co-conspirator number 3, and you're going to love this. It appears to be Boris Epstein. Boris Shitstain, as I like to call him.
Really?
Yeah.
Is Bernie Carrick on that list too?
I see you say that, and what I think is Bernie Carrick may be another person who might be cooperating with the investigation, or, at least to the extent possible. It's entirely possible that there are people who you think, hey man, this motherfucker is at the center of all these criminal conspiracies. Where the fuck they at? They might have already pled guilty to some lesser charges, and those charges haven't been made public yet. We don't know. You okay over there, Carrie? You sitting in the dark. You usually the one with the lights on and all.
My eyes are very sensitive right now.
Oh, are they? Do you really have a headache, honey?
No, no, not right now. I don't.
Oh.
I'm tired and.
Do you have contacts? Do you wear contacts, Carol?
No, not anymore. I'm just tired.
I know. It's been a long, crazy fucking week. It's only Tuesday.
Ah, shit, it's only Tuesday? Damn.
Yeah, I know. It's insane, right? We've had a whole week of just shit happening. It's been 2 days. It's been 2 days. All right, we've got unindicted co-conspirator number 4, Robert Sinners. You're probably not familiar with that name. You can just Google that if you would like. Unindicted co-conspirators number 5 could either be Dan Scavino or Molly Michael. So someone from Trump's campaign or affiliated with this PAC who might have access to information that was turned over to Finding Willis's office could be unindicted co-conspirator number 5. So that's something fun to look forward to. And again, given that these people aren't mentioned by name in the indictment, and that some of this could be hit or miss, or it's just the fact that they're not mentioned by name could imply that they're cooperating. So that's some fun news. We've got unindicted co-conspirator number 6, Phil Waldron. Yeah, you might know that name from the January 6th report. Not that he's super prominently featured in that. But yeah, he's one of the guys involved in pushing the fake the election theft, false claims. Yeah. There's a question as to who unindicted co-conspirator number 7 may be. I'm sure someone out there will develop some evidence to point in that individual's direction here soon. Number 8, Burt Jones. Number 9 through 19, more Georgia fake electors. Number 20 is going to be fun, kids. Could be Michael Flynn or Overstock.com former CEO Patrick Byrne. Yeah. So, I expect either or both of those individuals to be eventually indicted. Number 21 is Todd Sanders. Number 22, Conan Hayes. You can look those people up. They're more closely related to shit that was taking place in Georgia itself. Number 23 is an individual who was working with Harrison Floyd. Number 20.
Is that Travion person?
No, Travion's been indicted. Was he not?
Oh, what's Travion? So many.
Yeah. You know what? Now that you mentioned, there's so many fucking individuals in this fucking plot who have already been indicted that you kind of just forget. Like, you got to pull the list out and check them off one by one. Was it that guy? Oh, yeah, they got him. Was it that one? Oh, they got him. Was it this one? Oh, I don't see him on there. Maybe that was him. Yeah. I think. Wait, let me look. Travion. No, maybe that is Travion. So, I mean, I guess anything's possible. Yeah. Unindicted co-conspirators number 24 through 29. We've got the Coffee County individuals involved in like helping Sidney Powell and such break into the elections offices to steal the fucking software and distribute it all across the fucking country. And number 30 is a Sidney Powell linked lawyer. So, if you want to continue playing the guessing game and narrow down some of those unindicted co-conspirators, you have fun out there on the social medias doing that shit. We don't have the energy to track them fuckers down. Woo! Oh man, yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy. He did it again. I said on the Twitter, I think it was yesterday, that I know Trump is the supervillain in the democracy cinematic universe because he's collecting indictments like Infinity Stones.
Yes. He just needs 2 more.
And he'll have the criminal infinity gauntlet.
And then he will have...
Will it make half his crimes disappear?
Make his ass disappear. But...
Hey, Carol, what do you think is going to look like here next year when Trump is facing 4 criminal trials at one time while also trying to run a campaign to win the nomination for the...
I mean, I guess it's going to be interesting and horrifying to find out whether people are really willing to still go in on this guy as their fucking candidate while he's in prison. Even though if he wins, he wouldn't be able to pardon himself in Georgia yet. I mean, until he...
Well, Mark Meadows just made a move to move this case to federal court.
Yeah, but based on what?
Well, the fact that he was the fact that he was a federal official at the time, but that doesn't affect so even if the case is moved to federal court, if he's convicted, it would still be state crimes.
Yeah,
right? And he would still be unpardonable federally.
I think
maybe he's somehow in his mind thinking he can wrap it into whatever deal he made with Jack Smith. Like maybe in his mind.
Okay.
I mean, guy's a snake. He was
Or
ready
he's
to
just
just bring
desperate
fucking
and they'll
steak.
try anything to save a day or to get themselves a couple extra days, or if they think people will donate more money that way, or
Well, if Mark Meadows is cooperating with Jack Smith's office and he has a some sort of immunity deal or plea agreement where he's cooperating, the way to go about handling that in Georgia would for Jack Smith's team to get in contact with Fannie Willis's office and be like, "Hey, this is the deal that we have with Mark Meadows. We would like to arrange some kind of global plea agreement where, you give him immunity or, a deal where he pleads to lesser crimes and he'll cooperate with both our offices, or we'll provide you the evidence that he's provided us of some such sort like that." So that would be the arrangement that he would make if he is cooperating with Jack Smith. But if there's also the issue that if he's cooperating with Jack Smith's team and he didn't tell him everything, and then he's indicted for shit that he didn't indicted for shit in Georgia that he didn't tell Jack Smith's team about, that could fuck up his plea agreement with Smith's team.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
that's a good point. They find out something because it's related to overturning the election and what Smith is working on. So that's a good point.
Yeah,
that if you're right, that if something came out, I mean, these people are snakes, but they really aren't the brightest. So, he might have thought, oh, I'll give Jack enough, but not everything.
Yeah, if he did that would be a mistake. Yes, yeah. But we don't know.
So,
I mean, it's also possible that he's not cooperating and he just kept his head down, hoping he could escape, the ire of the prosecutors and not be charged in either case. But I mean, if clearly that wasn't the case, Fonnie was like, "We got you, bitch." Yeah.
I don't know. Well, we'll see. Hopefully.
I don't think it's going to move to federal court. I don't understand. I mean, look, I've been pretty clear. I haven't had brush up on criminal law and federal rules of civil procedure or it's just criminal procedure since law school. But
it's okay. I brushed up on it for you slightly.
Sure of it. Well, I mean, I do know you have reasons to remove from federal court for would be that it's a federal matter or that there's diversity jurisdiction, which means the plaintiff and the defendant are from different jurisdictions, but there's no plaintiff and it's a fucking.
No, he will argue that because he was an officer of the federal government serving as Trump's chief of staff at the time, that the actions he's being prosecuted for were even tangentially related to his job as a federal employee. So under the supremacy clause, he would argue that the case should be moved to federal court. But again, I don't think even if that were to happen, a federal judge wouldn't drop the case. And also, even if he was convicted and it was in federal court, it wouldn't change the fact that they were state charges. Fannie Willis would still be the prosecutor on the case. Her team would be running the prosecution. They'd be handling the trial. And if he was convicted, even if it was in federal court, again, it'd be state crimes. He'd be unpardonable federally. And the way Georgia works, you practically have to serve 5 years of your sentence before you're even eligible for a pardon anyway. So he'd be fucked. Yeah, I feel like I haven't celebrated enough. I got all serious. I asked people what they wanted on the podcast. Do you want analysis or Schadenfreude? And then I still went analysis, even though they were like, yeah, party time. Woo!
We can have a few minutes of Schadenfreude.
Okay. You like my little joke earlier about how if all of Trump's co-conspirators had just voted, he probably would have won Georgia?
Yeah, man, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
It's like,
you're
funny. I'm not laughing now because you caught me with a puff in my lungs.
You were vaping. Yeah, it's okay. No, I need your approval. That's what I seek it constantly. Every time you guys laugh at my Twitter jokes, it makes me feel better about myself.
If I saw Twitter more, I would laugh more. Very funny.
People are excited when you tweet, though. They're like, "Oh, where have you been, Carol? We missed you so much." Yeah, Twitter sucks, though. It's unfortunate. Elon killed our fucking home to try and help rig the election for this loser, and then he got indicted 4 times. Way to waste your money, bro. Way to throw away your fucking money. Welcome back, Ty. You're home.
I am. Yes, I am. I'm home.
That didn't take long.
No, I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I loved it. I
hands again. Sorry,
my air conditioner's working.
Yeah.
Finally. So now I need.
Ryan's wearing a Cannes Film Festival T-shirt.
I am. I don't know where I got it, but
it's right across
I need
her
to
hands.
remove these window units because we live on the bottom floor, and I don't feel like secure.
Really?
Well, yeah, because like I said, we're on the bottom floor. Crime of opportunity for somebody if they wanted to just like kick in the little cardboard they've got acting as a window.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hopefully no one will have any incentive to do such a crazy act. Fingers crossed, I guess.
Not unless they want to pick up all these fucking clothes. Because when I'm looking for stuff, because Noelle and Andrea, they just grabbed everything and threw it in the garbage bag. So I don't know what's in what. So, and I'm looking and everything gets torn apart, but I need to get rid of half of this stuff anyway. Well, probably 75% of it. And just take it to the Goodwill, which is right down the street also.
Alrighty.
Oh, that's nice.
That's
nice.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten bored with Trump. I mean, I haven't. I celebrated all day yesterday, but I'm kind of tired. But I feel like the novelty has worn off because he's been indicted so much in such a short period of time. They're like, oh, look, they got him again. People are just like
for me, I mean, he's just really getting old to me. I'm just tired of his fucking face, tired of his fucking Truth Social rants. I'm just tired of the maggots that just continue to defend them. I'm just sick of them all. Like, I just really am. I'm just so, ugh.
It's funny you mentioned his Truth Social rants because he had a doozy today. Give me 1 second and I'll find that for you. So what crazy indicted fucker said earlier today, and I'll read it for you. I guess I'll refrain from doing the limited fake Trump impersonation, but he said a large, complex, detailed, but irrefutable report on the presidential election fraud, which took place in Georgia, is almost complete and will be presented by me at a major news conference at 11 a.m. on Monday of next week in Bedminster, New Jersey. Based on the results of this conclusive report, all charges should be dropped against me and others. There will be a complete exoneration. They never went after those that rigged the election. They only went after those that fought to find the riggers. Yeah, I'm entirely sure that he accidentally spelled that riggers. Like he meant to spell the other word and it came out as riggers because autocorrect or something.
Riggers. Like supposed to be some freaking symposium from the Pillow Man.
Pillow Man already held his symposium. He did that thing where he offered like $5 million to anyone that could prove that election data that they stole from Georgia, proved that like they lost in Georgia, and then some dude actually did it, and then he wouldn't pay him the millions of dollars, so the dude took him to court and won the money.
Well, he's supposed to do something. He did some video. Ron Filipkowski had put it up like a day or so ago.
Oh, and he's holding another one? Oh no, that's not good.
Yeah, he was looking rough too. Titties just flopping, and it looked like he was.
Hey, Ty, we not anti-titties on this podcast.
I can't even say titties without. I was watching this episode of The After Party with Tiffany Haddish, and Michael Ealy was on it, and he was all about freak, And so he was telling her to pour hot wax on him and slap his titties and shit.
It's interesting.
And so she was like, "Oh, you want me to pour wax on?" He goes, "The left titty likes the slaps. The right titty likes the wax." And that just made me laugh. Sorry.
What is this from? Wait, what? I tuned out for a second and
is a show on Apple TV. Tiffany Haddish stars in it as a detective, and it's like a murder mystery show. And so the first both seasons, she solve a murder, and they go into each of the people on the episodes and kind of give you background on them. So you and each of them tell their story of why they're not the murderer, and they each do it in their own way. But the show is it's hilarious. I was really surprised. Apple TV has some great shows on it. Like really, really good. Maya Rudolph is on one. I'm actually writing about it tomorrow.
Maya Rudolph. Which one? What's she in?
It's called Loot. And it's where she Loot. Like Loot. It's where she gets divorced and she becomes the second richest woman in the world.
Damn.
And so she's been a billionaire all her life. But I'm telling you, the part that gives me life on that show is her and Kim Whitley dancing in the living room to Motown Philly. That part was like really, I was like, okay, I'm digging this, because she actually leans into her blackness, and her family's black.
I mean, I do love Maya Rudolph, like the freckles and shit. That's like my thing. I'm a fan. Yeah, my favorite show on Apple TV is Foundation. That shit is incredible.
I heard that's really good.
Yeah, and for like a budget that's like, a fifth the size of the Lord of the Rings shit on Amazon. Like, that thing looks incredible. It's well acted. The plot line is fucking crazy. I won't spoil it for anybody. But yeah, check that show out. I don't know how we got off topic on the Apple TV. Even though, like, the biggest news of the century, a former president got indicted for the RICO. We wander off topic.
I guess he gets indicted every week. Call me when he's in jail.
Well, yeah, he keeps getting indicted, so I don't really have to change my screen name much. That's great.
I need to know when he's actually in there. I need to see the mugshot.
Yeah, well, look, the same way you all have gotten bored with him getting indicted every week, I feel like Trump supporters are going to get bored with defending him constantly from all this shit. Like, the novelty is worn off for everyone with Trump getting indicted, because the first time he raised a shit ton of money off of his indictment, and the second time he raised a pretty good amount of money, and then last time not so much. He probably won't raise any money off this indictment, and probably won't raise any money off any future indictments, because I don't feel like this is the end. This is more so like, this ain't Avengers Endgame yet. I think we're on like, I don't know, Iron Man 3. We're close, but not quite there. Yeah, but no, we've got plenty more to talk about and to discuss, and I'm sure there'll be more breaking news over the course of this week. So tune in for more episodes of this crazy shit. I'm also thinking about starting, every other day, shorter segments, maybe 15, 20 minutes, where we give you a little pocket pardon episode of the podcast. Cause I mean, there's so much going on that recording once a week, we can't fit all the fucking news into the podcast. And I'll give you an example. How many of y'all even remember Clarence Thomas out here taking like 100 paid vacations from all his rich, wealthy friends? We ain't never got to talk about that.
That's a shit.
That is true.
Yep. It didn't even have the opportunity to come up. RFK Jr. out here, pro 16-week abortion bans or some crazy shit like that.
Total.
No, 12-week. Yeah. Is it 12 weeks? Yeah.
No, total. I thought he was in favor of a fucking total ban.
Yeah, total ban after 12 weeks, I believe. So it's like he's practically a Republican. No idea why he's running in the Democratic Party. We ain't had a chance to talk about Ron DeSantis fucking up.
Well, just briefly.
Or fucking Greg Abbott and his damn barbed wire chainsaw murder buoys that he's got and what he's doing down in Houston and stuff with the school system. There's a lot. There is a lot.
We ain't had a chance to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy out here doing his Eminem impersonation in Iowa.
Oh my God.
So he's wearing like a big round chocolate suit. Is he the green one? Heels?
Please don't remind me of that.
No.
With his lose yourself.
That Eminem.
Yeah.
Yes. No, not the chocolate Eminem.
I know. I was being obtuse.
Oh.
Next thing you know, he's gonna be like, "Yeah, I am a fucking bomb, and I live in a trailer with my mom."
No. Please
Wow.
no.
Yes.
Y'all ain't seen 8 Mile? No. Anyway, yeah, no. So yeah, because there's so much going on, and clearly we're going to have more developing news as far as these criminal indictments go. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a little multiple short episodes a week just to keep you guys filled in and caught up on some of the more tangentially related news topics. Also, if you would like to get some terrible, horrible, romantic, or life advice, we're starting a segment called the Rudy Giuliani Charm School of how to have sex with your sister and have sex with your cousin and lose your job. So yeah, feel free if you'd like to respond to me on Twitter with any questions regarding your romantic situation. Feel free to do that. Or if you'd like something more anonymous, you can send an email to pardonpodcharmschool@gmail.com because we'd love to give you some bad relationship advice in the vein of Rudy Giuliani, right? Don't expect anything good. We're going to give you terrible advice. But please ask serious questions because the segment is going to be absurd enough as it is. You don't have to, send in fake questions about how you want to sleep with your sister. We're not going to give you actual advice on how to do that. We're going to give you advice on how to ruin good relationships.
Oh, well, I'm pretty good at that.
All right. Yeah. I have as much practice at that as anyone. All right. Do either of you have a nominee for the Shithole of the Week award by any chance?
Besides the perennial assholes shitholes we just discussed, DeSantis and
Abbott is mine.
Abbott. You got Abbott.
I
just wanted to mock DeSantis real quick for apparently reneging on his Disney fight and just trying to be like, no, I'm over that pretty much. They should get over it.
Well, you say that one for your closing thoughts. You get to have DeSantis. Ty, you get to have Abbott for your closing thoughts. For Shithole of the Week, I nominate Mike Flynn.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
For being on some super Nazi shit.
Yeah.
When is he not? That's kind of his jam, right?
Well, this one was particularly tough. Carol, I hate to even. Okay, so Flynn was saying he was basically doing that thing where he blamed the Jewish community for their own downfall in Nazi Germany. Like the thing where why didn't more Jewish people stand up to the Nazis? And he was like, it was their fault for getting on the trains to go to the fucking concentration camps. It was totally disgusting. Absolutely disqualifying for anyone who was a senior military official. It's just some shit was so absurd. I don't even want to give credence to the things he said but again, it was just horrifying and disgusting. I assume that I'll have, a unanimous consent vote on awarding Mike Flynn. Look up what he said. It was disgusting. I won't repeat it here.
It. That's the same shit. Yeah, that's the same as the slaves had a choice people.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. People we didn't get on. They could have not gone on the plane. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, They had two choices. They did have an option, Carol. It was the train or bullets. So I hereby award you, Michael Flynn, with the Shithole of the Week award. I hope they lock your ass up soon and take your bitch ass off to prison. All right, closing thoughts. Which one of you two would like to go first?
You go, Carol.
I'll just mock DeSantis real quick for just staking his campaign on like a culture war garbage and his fight against Disney that's come crashing back down on him because they fucking sued him. And he's he's like, oh, I'm pretty much over that. Like, they should get over it. Like, they're not gonna drop their lawsuit. Like,
dude, you took over their fucking board. You cost the damn state like $2 billion. You canceled all of these projects and said that you were going to build a prison next to the amusement park. Like, seriously.
And then he's the one that was like, I'm over it. Why are these guys bringing up old shit? Why won't they move on?
That's some colonizer shit. I'm over slavery. Why don't you get over it? Okay, it's called the emancipation, asshole, but whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
Carol, I'm sorry. I feel like we took over your closing thoughts there. My bad.
That's okay. I was yeah.
You're done. Fuck
I'll
DeSantis. Yeah, well, don't you worry. DeSantis is having a rough time as we speak. His campaign is floundering. He's certainly not going to be the GOP nominee. I don't care what happens over the course of the next 6, 7, 8 months with Trump. There's no way. Yeah.
Good.
All right, Ty, closing thoughts, go.
That's fucking Greg Abbott. Not just his.
Well, before you start on Greg Abbott, actually, might there by any chance be a possibility that you want to reiterate your thoughts on PragerU?
Oh, you know what? And PragerU, I swear to God, went through my head too. Because I've been thinking about that shit all motherfucking day. And New Hampshire is thinking about adopting PragerU also.
I don't even know what that means. Like, adopting them to do what? It's not a fucking university. It's not a class.
Part of their school curriculum.
Man, if they out here showing PragerU to the kids, I'm gonna burn these fucking schools down. Talk about like grooming fucking children and indoctrinating them with bullshit. Anyway, I'm sorry. Continue. I don't want to take over your.
No, I'm just watching those, and Casey did some great videos.
Tell the people who Casey is.
Oh, Casey is a TikToker, and she does really, really great videos where she breaks shit down on the fuckery that the right wing is doing. I love her videos and her commentary. They're great. You can follow her at Mama Sissy Says on Twitter.
Oh, I love her.
Yeah, I do. I love Casey too. But she was breaking down, and the one on Reagan where the freaking girl in the video was like, oh, he was like dreamy. What the fuck is that? The Frederick Douglass, the Christopher Columbus is the one that really took me out. Where and what was up with the fucking accent? Like, I don't even understand what that's all about. Where he was like, talking in some fake ass accent, saying that, oh, it's better to be a slave than be killed, no? And then those two dumbass kids, like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, this is going to warp. They're going to show it in elementary schools where kids' brains are shaping and forming. It's just so fucking disgusting. It's just absolutely disgusting. And even worse is that have zero doubt that it's going to spread like wildfire among Republican states, and that they're going to be showing this shit in schools. It's fucking gross.
Well, here's the problem, Ty. The long-term problem with feeding these kids absolute fucking nonsense like that, right? All right, great. You indoctrinated the kids. What happens when they're teenagers and they have access to the fucking internet? And then they're like, boom, out of nowhere, hit the truth. Oh, they're going to start questioning everything they've ever been taught. To see the thing with propaganda like that is it only works when you're in a completely closed system on like some North Korea type shit. Because eventually people have access to fucking information, real information. And I'll be like,
I guess
damn.
they're hoping we will get to that North Korea shit by that time.
Yeah. No, I think so, Carol. I think you're right. I think I mean, if I've already noticed that Google is useless. When I'm trying to look up stuff, it's absolutely useless when I'm doing something for an article.
The first couple of hits on Google, usually they either suck or it's like some AI generated bullshit content. I mean, you got a better chance of like finding quality information on Reddit than Google searches sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a fucking disaster. But look, we don't have to worry about that. Again, PragerU sucks. Anyone promoting that shit, you're a fucking asshole. And again, like, even with this dumbass misinformation that you're spreading to these, you're trying to indoctrinate these kids with, like, eventually they will learn the fucking truth and then they will disown all of the fucking bullshit nonsense misinformation that you fed them. Anyway, as for my closing thoughts, I would just like to say Finding Willis came out here with that folding chair and whooped Trump's ass like somebody threw a hat up in the air. And that concludes this episode of Pardon the Insurrection.